Hello, it's Perigi, and in this video I wanted to talk about files management in Figma. Now, I worked over the past years with enterprise companies, and I can tell you that what works for startups is different than when you are scaling the company or you're working on a larger, maybe 7, 8, 9 figure company. So the whole premise of this video is to help you avoid issues and wasting a lot of time and effort in structuring up files in a way where you're going to have issues down the line. So I mainly want to talk about the difference and the pros and cons of single files compared to multiple files management, because this is one of the core issues. I also went in much depth in another video in terms of the more general principles of file management. So you might want to reference that even before this one if you want to have a bird's eye overview. But for today's topic, we're going to focus on the single files versus multiple files. So let's talk about it. Single files. It's one of the preferred ways of approaching a Figma file management by most designers, because it's easy, it's simple, it's quick to basically do edits and navigate through the file. So the first point is also going to be consistency. With one single file, you're essentially going to have everything in that one source of truth. So it's almost like having one single design system, if you wish, in one single file. It's also very easy to share. Whenever someone needs that file, you can easily share it with one click, and there you go, they have everything needed for them to work on or reference work. You also have it easier when it comes to version control, and by version control I'm essentially referring to the backup saved files that you have on that one file. So if you have to reference maybe a version of 3 months ago and you haven't saved it anywhere, you can easily utilize version control in order to access it, and with one file it's quite easy. You can also make edits with multiple designers and editors and leverage the version control description features in order to make it easier to basically have a streamlined workflow. I'm going to create a video on this because it's an entire topic in and of itself, and it's also quick to access, as I mentioned in the beginning. So very easy, the entire team is synced. Now, where does the single file concept starts to break down? First of all is in terms of performance. Once you start adding more design items and more pages, a website, a web app, this and that, the performance is going to hit a wall. So you're going to encounter a issue in terms of the file size, where Figma is telling you, hey, I have too much going on in this file. Start thinking of breaking it down into multiple files, or upgrade to the more pricey options that we have available, which can be an option, but it's not the best option each and every single time, especially if you don't want to pay a premium on a monthly basis. Also, the complexity as the design system and your design projects grow, it can become more complex to manage everything in a neat and organized way. So at the beginning it's actually easier, then it becomes more complicated. And then also collaboration challenges. So as I wrote here, simultaneous editing by multiple team members can lead to conflicts and versioning issues. This is related to the version control strategy that some teams utilize, and I'm going to again create an entire video about it, because it's an entire video in and of itself. And also risk of corruption. What if that single file breaks for whatever reason? Maybe file size is too big, there's an issue on the back end, there's some safety breach, you're essentially screwed. So that's one thing that you have to consider when it comes to the pros and cons. And now let's talk about the other option, the other happy island, which is dividing the file into multiple files. So the first one, the pro, is going to be the modularity. So breaking up the designs allows for a more modular approach. So you can have, for example, one file for the website, another one for the app, another one for design system, another one for marketing. So this is going to help create more organized workflows overall. And you won't have those performance issues for the most part, because whenever you hit a wall, you can simply create another file and you're sorted. No need to pay any premium. And then after that, you're also going to create a more focused collaboration environment, in the sense that say that you have the marketing team focused on the website, and you don't want them to really collide with you working on the web app for your company. By having multiple files, you can create those divisions and never have to worry about having any potential conflict, or maybe someone from another team peeking on your design before it's ready to deliver. There's infinite amount of dynamics which might make sense in your specific case. And then on top of that, you have reduced risk in terms of if a file is breached or compromised, you actually have more source of references. Now, granted, these aren't things that happen every day, and in my entire career, I really haven't had an issue yet. There was one occasion actually where the file wasn't loading up because it was too big. It just got to a point of diminishing returns, and it wouldn't even load. And that was really frustrating. So, I mean, whenever it comes to things like that, you have to focus and play a chess move or a couple of chess moves ahead, really. You want to be the grandmaster here. So these are things that you want to consider. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows when it comes to multiple files. So of course there's going to be cons. First of all is the consistency challenges. So the more you break things up, the more difficult it's going to be to maintain a level of consistency if the design systems and the workflows aren't established in an efficient way, because you're going to have to reference to multiple files when it comes to elements of design components, system elements, branding elements, maybe past work. So there is definitely that. Sharing overhead, sharing and managing access to multiple files might require additional effort and tools. So also that is one thing that you want to consider. And also navigation complexity, as I mentioned earlier. Navigating from multiple files is usually more cumbersome than having one single file to move around with. So this is pretty much like the pros and cons from a high level. If you have any specific issues that you're tackling, feel free to reach out to me. I might help or might not, depending on the request, but you can give it a shot. And if you want to learn more about Figma and design in general, definitely check out my courses and resources, which I'm going to leave in the description below. And I'll see you in the very next video.